My child, I am still speaking to you because I love you deeply, and I refuse to let you walk blindly into harm when my voice can guide you into safety. I do not raise my voice to frighten you, but to awaken you, because there are paths forming around you that look harmless, yet carry consequences that could wound your heart and delay your destiny. I see what you cannot see, and I understand the weight of what is trying to approach your life, so I am reaching toward you now with protection already prepared. Stay close to my words in this moment, because what I am revealing is meant to shield you, strengthen you, and steady your steps. You have sensed a pressure lately that you could not fully explain, and that inner tension is not random, but a signal that your spirit recognizes movement in the unseen realm. There are decisions before you that appear small, yet they carry influence far beyond what your natural eyes can measure. I am not warning you to condemn you, but to position you correctly so that what could have harmed you instead becomes a testimony of how I intervened. My protection does not always remove the storm instantly, yet it always guides you through it without destroying your purpose. Type Amen in the comments as a declaration that you trust my protection. The danger I am guarding you from is not only external but also internal, because sometimes the greatest risk is allowing fear, pride, or impatience to steer your choices. When you move ahead without listening, you can step into unnecessary battles that exhaust your strength and cloud your clarity. I am calling you into stillness so you can hear me clearly, because clarity is a shield that prevents confusion from ruling your actions. The more you lean into my presence, the more you will sense which doors to close and which opportunities to embrace. I want you to understand that my warnings are never abandonment, but evidence of my involvement in your life. If I were distant, I would remain silent and allow events to unfold without intervention. Yet I am speaking because you matter to me beyond what you comprehend. I know your weaknesses, yet I also know your calling, and I refuse to let temporary emotions sabotage what I have been building within you for years. My correction is gentle but firm, because I am shaping you into someone who can carry greater responsibility without collapsing under pressure. There is a situation around you that looks appealing because it promises quick relief or fast success, yet it hides complications that would entangle your peace. I see how attractive it seems from your perspective, and I understand why it feels tempting to move forward quickly. Slow down your pace and allow me to lead you step by step, because rushing ahead could create wounds that take longer to heal than you expect. When you trust my timing, you avoid unnecessary pain and walk into blessings that do not require regret. You have not been chosen for hardship but for growth, and growth sometimes requires restraint when everything in you wants immediate results. I am teaching you endurance so that when true opportunity arrives, you will recognize it and handle it with maturity. What I am preventing today is clearing space for something far greater that is aligned with your destiny. The delay you feel is not rejection but protection, working quietly in your favor. Write 777 inches the comments as a sign that you are choosing patience over panic. My child, I know there are voices around you offering advice that sounds confident and convincing. Yet not all counsel carries wisdom rooted in truth. Some suggestions are driven by ambition without discernment, and others are shaped by fear rather than faith. When you filter every decision through my presence, you will notice a calm assurance that confirms the right direction. That inner peace is my confirmation guiding you safely forward. You are not alone in this season, even if you feel misunderstood or isolated at times. I am surrounding you with unseen help that you may never fully perceive, yet it is working constantly for your good. The protection I provide is not always dramatic, yet it is steady, consistent, and powerful enough to redirect outcomes in your favor. Trust that I am already handling details you have not even discovered yet. The warning you sensed earlier was not a threat, but an invitation to come closer and listen more carefully. When you stay attentive to my voice, you gain foresight that saves you from regret and shields your heart from avoidable sorrow. I am not predicting destruction over you, but I am steering you away from choices that could limit your future impact. My desire is to see you flourish without carrying scars that were never meant to be yours. You have been stronger than you realize, and that strength is evidence that my spirit is active within you. Every trial you survived was not luck, but divine covering that refused to let adversity consume you. In the same way, what lies ahead will not overpower you, because I am establishing boundaries around your life that protect your calling. Remain humble, remain attentive, and remain faithful, because your obedience today is shaping your victory tomorrow. I am lifting your awareness so that you recognize subtle shifts before they escalate into larger consequences. When you sense discomfort or unease, do not ignore it or dismiss it as imagination, because discernment is one of the ways I communicate direction. The more you cultivate quiet time with me, the sharper your perception becomes, and the easier it is to avoid hidden traps. I am preparing you to walk wisely in environments that once intimidated you. My love for you is not fragile or conditional, and it does not disappear when you struggle or hesitate. Even when you misunderstand my timing, I remain patient and continue guiding you back to safety. There is nothing approaching your life that can overpower my authority when you stay aligned with me. You are covered, guarded, and strengthened in ways that exceed your understanding. Could this 7-second CIA brainwave trick be your fastest path to luxury? Leaked research reveals a simple ritual helping people attract wealth effortlessly. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, debt is dissolving and abundance is showing up fast. If you're seeing this now, you are God's chosen one. Click the link in the comments before it disappears. What you thought might break you will instead build resilience within you. And what you feared could destroy your peace will become proof of my faithfulness. I am teaching you to depend on me more deeply, because dependence on my wisdom leads to stability that circumstances cannot shake. As you move forward carefully and prayerfully, you will witness doors closing that once seemed necessary, and you will realize they were shut to prevent hidden harm. You are stepping into a season where awareness and obedience will protect you more than force or ambition ever could. I am not removing your free will, but I am illuminating your path so you can choose wisely and walk confidently. Let my voice be louder than anxiety and stronger than pressure, because I am committed to preserving the purpose I planted within you. The enemy of your destiny rarely announces itself loudly, but often hides within distractions, rushed commitments, and emotional reactions that feel justified in the moment. I am teaching you to pause before responding, to breathe before deciding, and to seek my heart before taking action. There are connections around you that seem familiar, yet not all familiarity is healthy for your future. Some relationships carry patterns that once shaped your pain, and I do not desire to see you repeating cycles that I already delivered you from. You have grown beyond certain environments, and remaining attached to them could quietly weaken the confidence and clarity I have been building within you. Let me gently separate you from influences that limit your growth, even if that separation feels uncomfortable at first. Write 888 inches. The comments as a declaration that you trust my direction over your emotions. I know you sometimes fear that obedience may cost you opportunities, yet obedience is the very thing that protects your opportunities from corruption. When you align your steps with my guidance, I guard the outcome in ways you cannot see or calculate. The blessings I prepare for you are not fragile, and they do not depend on manipulation or haste to survive. They are sustained by my power, and what I sustain cannot be easily destroyed by outside pressure. There is also a battle within your thoughts that I want you to recognize clearly, because the mind can magnify worries that have no true authority over your life. You have entertained scenarios of failure and loss that never came from me, and those thoughts have drained energy that should have been reserved for faith and action. I am restoring your mental strength so that you no longer surrender your peace to imagined fears. My truth will begin to silence the noise that once overwhelmed you. The danger I am steering you away from is not only physical or relational, but also spiritual fatigue that slowly disconnects you from my presence. When you neglect time with me, distractions grow louder and your sensitivity to my voice becomes dull. I am drawing you back into deeper communion because intimacy with me sharpens your instincts and anchors your confidence. The closer you remain to me, the more difficult it becomes for deception to influence your choices. You have felt moments of heaviness that seem to appear without warning, and those moments were signals that something was trying to weigh down your hope. Instead of allowing that heaviness to settle, bring it directly to me and release it before it takes root. I am not asking you to carry burdens alone, because I am your refuge and your strength in every uncertain moment. When you hand your concerns to me, I transform anxiety into clarity and replace confusion with steady direction. Type 3 inches the comments as a sign that you are releasing hidden worries to me. There are financial decisions approaching that require wisdom beyond impulse or pressure from others. You may feel urged to act quickly, yet quick action is not always wise action when discernment is required. I am protecting you from agreements or commitments that appear profitable but contain hidden strain that could disturb your peace. Allow my guidance to shape your financial steps so that stability replaces stress in your future. My child, you are not being singled out for hardship but positioned for maturity and authority. Growth often comes with tests that reveal what still needs strengthening, and I am refining you with intention. The challenges you face now are shaping endurance and wisdom that will support greater responsibility later. Nothing in this refining process is meant to break you, because I am supervising every detail with loving precision. You may notice that certain plans you once felt excited about are shifting or slowing down unexpectedly. Do not interpret this as failure or rejection, because sometimes I redirect your path quietly to prevent unseen complications. A closed door can be my mercy working behind the scenes, sparing you from outcomes that would have drained your energy and dimmed your joy. Trust that even delays are aligned with a larger protection that surrounds you. The sense of urgency you feel is not about panic, but about awareness and preparation. I am calling you into alertness so that you recognize small warning signs before they grow into larger consequences. When you listen carefully, you will sense subtle confirmations guiding you towards safety and stability. That inner assurance is my spirit reminding you that you are not navigating life alone. You are deeply loved and intentionally guarded, even when circumstances appear uncertain or unstable. I am orchestrating protection through conversations you have not heard and decisions you have not witnessed. There are shifts occurring around you that will soon reveal how I quietly intervened in your favor. What could have harmed you is being rerouted, and what could have delayed you is being dissolved before it reaches your door. Continue walking with humility and attentiveness, because these qualities keep you aligned with my wisdom. Pride and impatience open doors that humility and patience would have wisely kept closed. I am shaping your character to handle elevation without losing integrity or compassion. Your destiny requires strength of heart as much as strength of skill. What's really behind the 7-second brain trick exploding online? A leaked CIA ritual is turning heads and bank balances. Backed by neuroscience labs, this at-home method removes money blocks and unlocks unstoppable wealth flow. But the page could vanish any time. Click the link in the first comment before it's permanently deleted. In the days ahead, remain cautious about sharing every plan or desire with those who may not understand your calling. Not every dream needs immediate exposure, and some visions grow best in quiet seasons of preparation. Guard what I am cultivating within you until the right moment arrives for it to be revealed. Protection sometimes includes silence and restraint. Remember that my warnings are wrapped in love, not condemnation or abandonment. I am not stepping away from you, but stepping closer so that you feel my hand guiding you clearly. When I redirect you, it is because I see a better route unfolding ahead. When I pause you, it is because I am aligning circumstances for greater stability and blessing. You are not fragile, and your future is not hanging by a thread of uncertainty. I am stabilizing your foundation so that when opportunities expand around you, you will stand firm and confident. The storms that once intimidated you will no longer control your emotions because my peace will anchor your reactions. You are becoming steady in ways you once thought impossible. Stay attentive to small impressions within your spirit, because they often contain guidance that protects you from regret. I am speaking through quiet conviction, through gentle restraint, and through unexpected peace when you choose wisely. The more you practice listening, the stronger your confidence in my leading will become. Your journey is not random, and your protection is not accidental. As you continue forward, know that I am guarding not only your present, but also your future impact. What you avoid today through obedience will preserve your strength for tomorrow's victories. I am not only guarding you from visible dangers, but also from subtle compromises that could slowly weaken your confidence and blur your spiritual vision. The reason I continue speaking so clearly to you is because your life carries weight, purpose, and influence that must not be derailed by hidden traps. You may have wondered why certain tensions have surfaced recently, especially in places that once felt comfortable and secure. Those tensions are revealing areas that can no longer remain the same because growth requires change and maturity requires separation from old patterns. I am highlighting what needs adjustment so that small cracks do not grow into deeper fractures later. When I expose discomfort, it is not to disturb you, but to strengthen your foundation before greater responsibility is placed upon you. Type 4 inches the comments as a sign that you accept my refining process. There are conversations forming around you that may seem harmless at first, yet their influence could shape your decisions in ways that drift you away from clarity. Words carry power, and the voices you listen to regularly will eventually shape your confidence and direction. I am encouraging you to be selective about whose opinions you allow to guide your choices. When you prioritize my voice above every other influence, you secure your path against confusion and regret. I also see the internal battles that no one else notices, especially the moments when self-doubt tries to convince you that you are not ready for what lies ahead. That doubt is not a reflection of your capability, but a reminder that you are stepping into unfamiliar territory that requires courage. I am building courage within you gradually, because sudden elevation without preparation can overwhelm even the strongest hearts. Trust that the pace I am setting is intentional and protective. The danger that once hovered near your path has already been weakened by my intervention, even though you may not be aware of how close it came. I have redirected circumstances, shifted conversations, and softened outcomes in ways that spared you from unnecessary struggle. what felt like delay was often my shield operating quietly on your behalf. I do not always remove challenges completely, but I do ensure that they cannot destroy what I have ordained for your life. You have also been carrying emotional weight from past disappointments that still try to influence how you approach new opportunities. Those past wounds are not meant to dictate your future decisions, because healing has been taking place beneath the surface. I am restoring your trust in yourself and in my guidance, so that fear no longer controls your willingness to step forward. Each time you choose faith over hesitation, you reinforce the stability I am building within you. Write 666 inches the comments as a declaration that you are choosing faith over fear. There are moments ahead where you will need to remain calm, while others around you react impulsively or emotionally. Your steadiness will become a quiet strength that influences the atmosphere without loud confrontation. I am training you to lead by composure and discernment rather than by force or urgency. When chaos attempts to surround you, my peace within you will act as an anchor that keeps you grounded. I also want you to understand that not every obstacle is an attack, because some obstacles are adjustments designed to refine your direction. When plans shift unexpectedly, look for my guidance instead of assuming failure. Sometimes a small redirection prevents a larger setback that would have required much more energy to repair. I am guiding you with precision, even when the path curves in ways you did not anticipate. Financial pressures that once caused sleepless nights will begin to lose their grip as you adopt wisdom and restraint. I am teaching you discipline in areas that once felt overwhelming, because discipline becomes protection over time. The more intentional you become with your resources and commitments, the stronger your stability will grow. My blessing does not thrive in chaos, but in alignment with wise stewardship. There may also be opportunities presented to you that appear impressive, yet require compromises that would slowly erode your peace. I am sharpening your discernment so that you recognize when something looks successful but carries hidden costs. Not every open door is meant to be entered, and not every invitation is aligned with your calling. When you seek me first, I will reveal which paths lead to true growth and which ones simply glitter on the surface. The secret ritual they never wanted public is finally out. A 7-second brain technique, backed by leaked CIA data and 4 neuroscience labs, is helping families erase debt and attract money on autopilot. But this miracle won't stay public long. Click the link in the description and comments now before it's gone forever. My child, I am not only protecting you from what could harm you today, but also preparing you for influence tomorrow. The stability I am cultivating now will support responsibilities that require emotional maturity and spiritual clarity. You are being shaped into someone who can handle pressure without collapsing and carry authority without pride. This preparation is evidence that your future carries significance. There will be moments when you feel tempted to rush ahead because waiting feels uncomfortable or uncertain. In those moments, remember that haste often invites complications that patience would have prevented. I am strengthening your ability to remain steady even when others move quickly around you. The reward of patience is peace that does not depend on constant reassurance. I see the quiet sacrifices you have made, especially the choices to walk away from situations that no longer aligned with your growth. Those decisions were not easy, yet they created space for healthier environments to form. You may not see immediate results from those sacrifices, but they are shaping outcomes that will soon reveal their value. Nothing surrendered in obedience is ever wasted in my hands. Continue guarding your thoughts carefully, because mental discipline reinforces spiritual strength. When negative assumptions attempt to settle into your mind, replace them with truth and steady reflection. I am renewing your perspective so that hope becomes your natural response rather than fear. As your mindset shifts, your confidence in my protection will deepen. You are not fragile or unprepared for what lies ahead, because I am fortifying you from within. What once intimidated you will no longer have the same power over your emotions. Each step of obedience strengthens your resilience and sharpens your clarity. You are becoming more stable, more confident, and more aligned with the path I have set before you. Remain attentive, remain humble, and remain close to my presence as you continue forward. I am guiding you with patience, shielding you with wisdom, and anchoring you with peace that cannot be shaken by sudden change. What could have been a setback is transforming into preparation for something stronger and more secure. There are forces that would prefer you distracted, discouraged, or emotionally exhausted, because distraction weakens focus and exhaustion clouds judgment. I am strengthening you internally so that subtle pressures do not quietly redirect your course without you realizing it. The season you are entering demands clarity, and clarity grows when you remain anchored in my presence. You have sensed that something is shifting around you, and that awareness is not accidental or imagined. I am increasing your sensitivity to changes in atmosphere, tone, and intention so that you can discern what aligns with your purpose and what quietly competes against it. When you pay attention to those subtle impressions within your spirit, you will avoid stepping into situations that appear harmless but carry hidden strain. Discernment is one of the greatest protections I offer because it equips you to recognize risk before it becomes regret. Type 111 in the comments as a sign that you are choosing discernment over impulse. There are opportunities that will present themselves with urgency, attempting to pressure you into quick agreement or immediate response. Urgency does not always equal importance, and speed does not always equal success. I am teaching you to evaluate rather than react, because wise evaluation preserves your peace and your resources. When you allow my calm to guide you, you will see through exaggeration and recognize what truly deserves your attention. I know that part of you desires rapid progress, especially after seasons of waiting and uncertainty. That desire is understandable, yet progress built on unstable foundations cannot sustain long-term growth. I am reinforcing your foundation before expanding your territory, because expansion without strength would create cracks beneath the surface. Trust that I am more invested in your stability than in temporary acceleration. There are also emotional triggers that have resurfaced recently, reminding you of past disappointments and unresolved pain. Those reminders are not meant to reopen wounds, but to reveal where deeper healing is still needed. I am not exposing these areas to shame you, but to strengthen you so that past experiences no longer dictate your reactions. When healing is complete, familiar triggers lose their power to control your behavior. You may notice that certain individuals respond differently to your growth, especially when your boundaries become clearer and your confidence becomes steadier. Not everyone will celebrate the version of you that is disciplined and focused. I am teaching you to remain kind without surrendering your convictions, because true maturity balances compassion with firmness. The right connections will respect your boundaries and support your progress rather than resist it. Write 14 inches the comments as a declaration that you are standing firm in healthy boundaries. Financial and practical decisions ahead require not only wisdom but restraint, because impulsive commitments can create stress that lingers longer than anticipated. I am guiding you toward choices that provide security rather than strain. Before you agree to new obligations, pause and measure their long-term impact on your time, energy, and peace. When you invite me into your planning, you will avoid burdens that were never meant for you to carry. There is also a quiet preparation happening within your character that you may not fully recognize yet. I am strengthening patience where frustration once lived, and building confidence where hesitation once ruled. These internal adjustments are equipping you for responsibilities that require emotional steadiness and thoughtful leadership. What feels like refinement now will soon reveal itself as readiness. You have been protected from situations that could have escalated quickly if not for my intervention behind the scenes. Conversations shifted, decisions changed, and certain opportunities dissolved before they reached your hands. What you may have perceived as inconvenience was often protection operating invisibly. I do not always announce my rescue, but I consistently position you away from harm. In the coming days, you will be tempted to revisit old habits or patterns that once provided temporary comfort during stress. Those patterns may feel familiar, yet they no longer align with who you are becoming. I am inviting you to respond differently this time, choosing growth over familiarity and discipline over impulse. Each new response strengthens your identity and reduces the influence of old cycles. The environment around you may grow louder with opinions, advice, and competing expectations. Not every voice deserves equal weight in your decision-making process. When you retreat into quiet reflection with me, the noise will lose its intensity and your direction will regain clarity. Silence with me is not weakness but strategic alignment. Is this leaked CIA ritual the missing key to your financial breakthrough? A once-hidden brain ritual is spreading fast. This strange 7-second method, confirmed by elite neuroscience labs, activates your brain's wealth magnet. The government may shut this down. If you're seeing this, you are God's chosen child. Click the link in the description and comments before it's deleted. You are entering a period where emotional maturity will protect you more effectively than force or argument. When disagreements arise, choose measured responses rather than reactive ones. Strength is often revealed in restraint, and wisdom is demonstrated in thoughtful speech. I am cultivating leadership within you that is rooted in calm authority rather than loud assertion. The sense of responsibility you feel is evidence that you are growing into greater capacity. Do not confuse responsibility with pressure, because true responsibility is balanced by my support and guidance. You are not carrying the weight of your future alone, and you are not expected to solve every challenge without my involvement. Lean into my presence when decisions feel heavy, and clarity will return. There are relationships that will strengthen in this season because they are aligned with your growth and integrity. These connections will feel supportive rather than draining, and collaborative rather than competitive. I am surrounding you with individuals who value stability, wisdom, and sincerity. As you invest in these healthier connections, you will notice a reduction in unnecessary conflict. You may also experience moments of self-reflection that reveal how far you have already come. The progress you have made is significant, even if you sometimes focus more on what remains unfinished. I see your consistency, your restraint, and your willingness to learn from past mistakes. Growth is rarely dramatic, but it is steady and meaningful. Continue guarding your mind carefully, because perspective shapes outcomes more than you realize. When anxiety attempts to exaggerate possibilities, counter it with measured thought and steady trust. I am teaching you to think clearly under pressure, which is a skill that will serve you in future leadership roles. Calm thinking prevents avoidable errors and preserves your confidence. You are not moving toward disaster or collapse, but toward maturity and strengthened identity. What once threatened to unsettle you now serves as training ground for resilience. I am turning potential setbacks into lessons that fortify your character rather than diminish it. Every step of obedience reinforces the protection I have placed around you. Remain attentive to subtle guidance and small impressions within your spirit, because they will continue to direct you accurately. I am walking with you through each adjustment, shielding you from unnecessary harm while refining your judgment. Your future is being guarded with precision, and your present is being shaped with intention. Move forward confidently, knowing that my involvement in your life is active, steady, and deeply committed to preserving your peace and purpose. I am not merely blocking danger from your path, but also reinforcing your discernment so that you recognize instability before it becomes disruption. The growth happening within you is quiet, yet powerful, shaping your reactions, refining your priorities, and clarifying your sense of direction. You are not walking blindly into the unknown, because I am illuminating each step with wisdom that protects you from unnecessary strain. There are areas of your life where you once tolerated confusion because you did not feel confident enough to demand clarity. That hesitation is fading, and in its place I am building conviction rooted in truth rather than insecurity. When you sense inconsistency or manipulation, do not dismiss it to preserve comfort, because comfort without truth leads to compromise. I am strengthening your voice so that you can express boundaries calmly and confidently without fear of rejection. Type 1818 inches the comments as a declaration that you are choosing clarity over confusion. You have noticed subtle changes in your reactions recently, especially in situations that once triggered strong emotional responses. That shift is evidence that healing has progressed further than you realized. What once provoked impulsive reactions now meets a steadier and more thoughtful response because maturity has replaced urgency. I am proud of the quiet growth you have embraced, even when it required humility and honest self-reflection. There are still moments when doubt attempts to whisper that you are overthinking or being overly cautious. That doubt often surfaces when you begin to recognize patterns that no longer align with your growth. Do not ignore those impressions simply to maintain temporary peace, because long-term peace requires honest evaluation. I am guiding you to trust the inner steadiness that confirms when something feels misaligned. In the days ahead, you will encounter conversations that test your composure and patience. Some words may attempt to provoke you into defending yourself unnecessarily or explaining yourself repeatedly. Remember that not every misunderstanding requires your energy, and not every accusation deserves your reaction. True strength is often revealed in silence that refuses to engage in unnecessary conflict. Write 2121 in the comments as a sign that you are embracing composure and restraint. Financial and practical decisions will continue to require measured planning rather than emotional spending or rushed commitments. I am teaching you that stability is built gradually through wise choices repeated consistently over time. The discipline you practice now will shield you from regret later. When you prioritize long-term security over short-term satisfaction, you align yourself with lasting peace. You may also experience a growing desire for solitude, especially when external noise feels overwhelming. That desire is not isolation but restoration, because quiet moments allow your mind and spirit to recalibrate. In silence, you hear my guidance more clearly and regain perspective that prevents exaggeration of minor challenges. Solitude strengthens discernment and restores emotional balance. There are relationships that will continue to evolve as you grow, and some may feel distant not because of conflict, but because of shifting priorities. Growth sometimes changes compatibility, and that change does not always require confrontation. I am teaching you to release connections gently when alignment fades, trusting that space creates room for healthier bonds. Not every separation is loss, because some separations are protection in disguise. You have been learning to observe rather than react, to listen rather than assume, and to evaluate rather than rush. These habits are building a foundation that will support greater responsibilities in the future. What feels like restraint today will soon reveal itself as wisdom that preserved your energy and reputation. Every measured response strengthens your stability. What if 7 seconds is all it takes to flip your financial fate? A shocking CIA leak just exposed a hidden brain ritual, helping ordinary people erase debt and pull in massive wealth. Backed by 4 neuroscience labs, this at-home method is turning struggle into luxury fast. But this page could be erased any moment. Click the link in the first comment now before it's gone forever. There may also be moments when you feel tempted to prove yourself to those who underestimated you in the past. That urge is understandable, yet validation from others is not the source of your worth. I am reminding you that your identity does not depend on external recognition or applause. When you move with quiet confidence, your results will speak without the need for constant defense. The caution I am nurturing within you is not fear but foresight, because foresight prevents entanglement in situations that drain your strength. When you step back to evaluate motives and outcomes, you gain clarity that shields you from manipulation. I am sharpening your awareness so that hidden agendas cannot easily influence your decisions. The more attentive you become, the less vulnerable you are to subtle pressure. You may notice that your tolerance for chaos has decreased significantly, especially in environments that once felt normal. That change reflects your evolving standards and your growing appreciation for peace. I am aligning you with environments that nurture stability rather than constant tension. When peace becomes your priority, unnecessary drama naturally loses its appeal. Continue guarding your thoughts carefully, because mental discipline reinforces emotional resilience. When scenarios of failure attempt to replay in your imagination, replace them with steady reasoning and measured confidence. I am renewing your perspective so that hope becomes stronger than fear. A calm mind makes wiser choices than an anxious one. There are also dreams forming quietly within you that require preparation before public expression. Protect those dreams during their early stages, because premature exposure can invite doubt from those who do not yet see your vision. I am teaching you to nurture your plans privately until the right time for expansion arrives. Patience in preparation leads to stronger execution. You are not moving toward instability, but toward deeper maturity and refined character. What once unsettled you now strengthens your judgment and steadies your heart. I am turning past lessons into present wisdom that guides your choices effectively. The growth within you is becoming visible not only to yourself, but to those who observe your consistency. As you proceed, remain attentive to small internal nudges that guide you toward caution or encouragement. Those impressions are part of the protective awareness I am cultivating within you. I am involved in details you may never fully see, redirecting outcomes and softening circumstances to preserve your peace. Trust that my hand is steady over your life. You are becoming more confident in your ability to discern, evaluate, and respond wisely under pressure. Each day of obedience strengthens your foundation and reduces vulnerability to impulsive decisions. I am proud of the discipline you are developing and the patience you are practicing. Walk forward with assurance, knowing that my protection continues to surround you, while my wisdom continues to shape you into someone stable, resilient, and prepared for what lies ahead. My child, as this season continues to unfold around you, I want you to see how far you have come from the place where uncertainty once ruled your emotions. There was a time when confusion would quickly shake your confidence, and pressure would cause you to doubt your ability to choose wisely. Now you are pausing more, thinking more clearly, and responding with greater awareness than ever before. That transformation did not happen by accident, because I have been shaping your inner strength through every experience you survived. There are still moments when subtle anxiety attempts to rise, especially when the future feels undefined or when outcomes are not immediately visible. In those moments, remember that uncertainty does not mean danger, and delay does not mean denial. I am teaching you to remain steady even when you do not yet see the full result of your efforts. Stability during uncertainty is one of the clearest signs of growth. Type 24 inches the comments as a declaration that you are choosing steady trust over restless doubt. You are entering a phase where your decisions will have greater influence not only on your own life, but also on those who observe and depend on you. That influence requires maturity, restraint, and thoughtful evaluation before acting. I am deepening your sense of responsibility so that you lead with integrity rather than impulse. Leadership is not loud or rushed, but measured and consistent. There are situations forming around you that may test your patience in unexpected ways. You might feel tempted to react quickly to defend yourself or correct someone else's misunderstanding. Yet I am guiding you toward calm communication rather than reactive confrontation. A composed response will accomplish more than a heated explanation ever could. You have also been learning to recognize when something feels misaligned, even if you cannot immediately explain why. That inner awareness is a gift that protects you from entanglements that appear promising on the surface. I am sharpening that instinct so you can distinguish between genuine opportunity and cleverly disguised distraction. Trust the quiet steadiness that confirms when a step feels right. Write 27 inches the comments as a sign that you trust the quiet wisdom within you. Financially and practically, I am continuing to teach you balance and foresight. You are becoming more mindful about commitments, agreements, and promises that affect your time and resources. The discipline you practice now is building security that will support you later. Stability grows through small, wise choices repeated consistently. There may be individuals who question your cautious approach, especially if they prefer speed over evaluation. Do not allow their impatience to rush your process. You are not moving slowly because you are weak, but because you are building carefully. Careful construction lasts longer than rushed expansion. Your emotional responses are also becoming more measured, and that change is protecting your peace. Where you once reacted instantly, you now pause and consider long-term consequences. That pause is powerful because it prevents words and actions that could create unnecessary tension. Thoughtful restraint is a sign of wisdom developing within you. People are asking why money is suddenly flowing into random lives. A leaked CIA discovery reveals a 7-second brain ritual that quietly rewires your mind for wealth. Proven by 4 neuroscience labs, people are wiping out debt and stepping into luxury with ease. If you're seeing this, you're very lucky. Click the link in the description and comments before it disappears. You might notice that some relationships feel different as you grow, especially when your priorities no longer align with previous habits. Growth naturally shifts compatibility, and not every connection will continue in the same way. I am guiding you to accept these changes without resentment or guilt. Space sometimes creates healthier dynamics than forced closeness. There are also hidden strengths within you that are only now beginning to surface. Experiences that once felt overwhelming have built resilience that you did not recognize at the time. You are more capable than you realize, and more prepared than you think. Every challenge you endured strengthened muscles you now rely on daily. Continue guarding your mind carefully, because perspective influences peace more than circumstances do. When negative possibilities attempt to dominate your thoughts, bring them into alignment with steady reasoning and faith. I am renewing your outlook so that fear no longer exaggerates what is ahead. A calm mind will protect you from impulsive decisions. In the coming days, Remain attentive to subtle shifts in tone and intention during conversations. Words may not always reveal full motives, but your discernment will sense inconsistencies. I am guiding you to listen beyond surface explanations and evaluate deeper patterns. Awareness prevents regret. You may also feel a stronger desire to simplify certain areas of your life, removing unnecessary complexity and commitments. That desire is wisdom growing within you, because simplicity often restores clarity. When your schedule, finances, and relationships are balanced, stress decreases and focus increases. I am leading you towards sustainable peace rather than constant pressure. The caution you are practicing is not fear-based, but foresight-driven. Foresight recognizes that short-term excitement can carry long-term consequences. When you choose measured progress over rapid expansion, you protect your energy and your integrity. Integrity is more valuable than immediate approval. There will be moments when you reflect on past mistakes and feel tempted to judge yourself harshly. Remember that those experiences contributed to your current awareness and maturity. Growth often emerges from discomfort, and wisdom often follows error. I have used every lesson to strengthen your judgment. Your capacity for patience has expanded significantly, even if you sometimes underestimate it. Waiting no longer feels like defeat, but preparation. Preparation equips you to handle success without being overwhelmed by it. You are learning that timing is as important as opportunity. Remain grounded in quiet reflection when external noise grows louder. Not every opinion deserves equal weight, and not every criticism requires defense. I am anchoring you in calm assurance that allows you to evaluate feedback without losing confidence. Steadiness protects your reputation and your peace. As this season continues, you will see clearer evidence that careful decisions are producing stable results. Situations that once felt uncertain will begin to show progress because you chose patience over panic. The foundation you are building is solid, and solid foundations support lasting growth. You are not drifting aimlessly but moving intentionally. Walk forward with confidence, knowing that my guidance is steady and my protection remains active over your life. What once threatened to overwhelm you now serves as training that strengthens you. You are becoming resilient, thoughtful, and discerning in ways that prepare you for greater responsibility. Continue trusting the process of refinement, because it is shaping a future built on wisdom, stability, and lasting peace. That shift is evidence that strength has been forming within you through every experience you endured. You are no longer driven by impulse, but guided by discernment that protects your peace. There are still situations ahead that will test this new steadiness, especially when others attempt to provoke quick answers or immediate commitments. Pressure will try to convince you that delay equals weakness, yet true confidence does not need to rush to prove itself. I am teaching you that measured timing often reveals more wisdom than rapid response. When you choose to pause, you give clarity room to rise above emotion. Type 30 inches the comments as a declaration that you are choosing patience over pressure. You may encounter opportunities that appear polished and promising, yet something within you will hesitate slightly before agreeing. That hesitation is not insecurity but insight, because I am sharpening your ability to sense what aligns with your long-term stability. Listen carefully to that inner nudge, because it exists to prevent you from entering agreements that drain your energy or distract your focus. What glitters on the surface does not always carry peace beneath it. Financial matters will continue to require thoughtful evaluation rather than emotional enthusiasm. I am guiding you to weigh consequences carefully before attaching your name or resources to new commitments. Stability grows through restraint, and restraint preserves freedom. Each wise financial decision strengthens the security that will support you in seasons ahead. You are also becoming more aware of how your environment influences your mindset and productivity. Surroundings that once felt neutral now either energize or exhaust you more clearly. This awareness is guiding you towards spaces that nurture clarity and away from atmospheres that cloud your thinking. I am aligning you with environments that support your growth rather than subtly undermine it. Write 3333 in the comments as a sign that you are choosing environments that protect your peace. In relationships, you are learning that consistency matters more than grand gestures. Words without reliable action no longer impress you as they once did. I am strengthening your ability to evaluate patterns rather than promises. Patterns reveal intention, and intention determines long-term compatibility. There may be moments when you feel misunderstood because your standards have risen and your tolerance for confusion has decreased. Do not interpret misunderstanding as failure, because growth often separates you from those who are not ready to evolve. I am teaching you that clarity sometimes creates distance, yet that distance protects your direction. Not everyone will travel with you into the next phase. Emotionally, you are developing resilience that allows you to remain balanced, even when circumstances fluctuate. Where you once absorbed every external shift, you now hold steady through minor turbulence. That stability is a result of internal grounding rather than external control. You are learning to anchor yourself in calm reasoning instead of reactive emotion. There are hidden lessons in recent disappointments that have sharpened your discernment more than you realize. Those experiences refined your expectations and clarified what you will no longer accept. I did not allow those situations to break you, but to strengthen your judgment. Every setback has quietly contributed to stronger boundaries and clearer priorities. Why is everyone rushing to this 7-second brain ritual? Leaked CIA files exposed a hidden brainwave technique that opens the door to wealth fast. Verified by 4 top neuroscience labs, it's turning financial stress into abundance almost overnight. But this secret won't stay public for long. Click the link in the pinned comments before it's deleted forever. Continue guarding your thoughts carefully, because mental discipline reinforces emotional maturity. When negative assumptions attempt to dominate your perspective, challenge them with balanced reasoning. I am renewing your mindset so that fear no longer exaggerates potential outcomes. Clear thinking protects you from unnecessary stress. You may feel a stronger desire for structure and order in your daily life, especially as responsibilities increase. That desire reflects maturity, because structure preserves energy and prevents chaos from stealing focus. I am guiding you to organize your time and commitments in ways that support long-term success. Order reduces anxiety and increases clarity. There will be conversations ahead where listening will serve you better than speaking immediately. Silence can reveal more information than quick rebuttals ever could. I am teaching you that observation is a form of strength, because it allows you to evaluate motives before reacting. The more you observe, the wiser your response becomes. Your caution is not fear-based but wisdom-driven, and that distinction matters greatly. Fear paralyzes, while wisdom evaluates and then proceeds carefully. You are not shrinking back from opportunity, but approaching it with thoughtful preparation. Preparation protects progress. As responsibilities expand, you may occasionally feel the weight of expectation pressing against your confidence. Remember that expectation does not equal pressure when balanced with perspective. You are capable of growth without being overwhelmed by it. I am strengthening your capacity gradually so that expansion does not outpace stability. There are dreams quietly forming that require consistent effort rather than sudden bursts of enthusiasm. I am encouraging you to focus on steady progress rather than dramatic leaps. Sustainable growth rarely announces itself loudly, yet it produces lasting results. Patience will reward you more reliably than impulsive ambition. Remain attentive to subtle impressions that guide you toward caution or encouragement. Those impressions are part of the refined awareness I have cultivated within you. I am not distant or uninvolved, but actively guiding details you may never fully perceive. Trust that even unseen adjustments are working in your favor. You are not moving toward instability or collapse, but towards stronger foundations and clearer identity. What once unsettled you now strengthens your resolve. Each wise decision reinforces the protection surrounding your future. You are becoming dependable, thoughtful, and composed in ways that prepare you for greater influence. Walk forward confidently, knowing that your restraint is building security and your discernment is preserving opportunity. You are no longer easily swayed by urgency or intimidated by pressure. The growth within you is visible in your calm responses and measured choices. Continue trusting this process of refinement because it is shaping a future supported by wisdom, stability, and lasting peace that cannot be easily shaken. That maturity did not appear overnight, because it was built through moments when you chose reflection over reaction and patience over panic. I have been quietly strengthening your core so that you are no longer easily shaken by surface-level disturbances. There are still areas where growth is unfolding, especially in how you respond when others misunderstand your intentions. You once felt compelled to explain yourself repeatedly in order to secure approval or avoid conflict. Now you are beginning to understand that constant defense drains your energy and rarely changes hardened perspectives. I am teaching you that clarity does not require endless explanation, and peace does not require universal agreement. Type 36 inches the comments as a declaration that you are choosing peace over constant defense. You may encounter situations where your calm demeanor unsettles those who expect you to react emotionally. Some individuals are accustomed to chaos and feel uncomfortable when composure replaces volatility. Your steadiness will sometimes highlight the instability around you, and not everyone will appreciate that contrast. Remain consistent, because your calm presence carries quiet authority. In practical matters, I am continuing to refine your ability to evaluate long-term consequences before committing your time or resources. Where you once focused on immediate benefit, you are now considering sustainability and alignment. This shift is protecting you from short-lived satisfaction that could create prolonged stress. Stability grows when decisions are rooted in foresight rather than impulse. There will be invitations that appear beneficial but subtly conflict with your deeper priorities. Not every opportunity deserves your acceptance simply because it exists. I am sharpening your discernment so that you can distinguish between alignment and distraction. When something feels rushed or overly persuasive, take a step back and allow clarity to surface before responding. Write 39 inches the comments as a sign that you are trusting thoughtful evaluation over urgency. Emotionally, you are becoming less reactive to minor provocations and more focused on maintaining balance. Situations that once triggered strong responses now meet steadier reasoning. That change reflects internal growth that cannot be undone easily. You are learning to regulate your emotions instead of allowing them to dictate your direction. There are moments when loneliness may attempt to whisper that growth has distanced you from familiar circles. Understand that not all solitude is isolation, because sometimes separation creates space for deeper self-awareness and healthier connections. I am aligning you with individuals who value your stability and respect your boundaries. Quality will replace quantity in your relationships. You are also developing a stronger relationship with silence, recognizing its value in processing thoughts before speaking. Silence allows you to observe patterns and assess intentions without immediate involvement. I am teaching you that observation often reveals what impulsive participation would conceal. The more you observe, the less vulnerable you become to manipulation. Continue guarding your mindset carefully, because perspective influences emotional stability more than external events. When negative interpretations attempt to exaggerate a situation, pause and seek balanced reasoning. I am renewing your thought patterns so that calm analysis replaces catastrophic assumptions. Clear thinking is a powerful form of protection.